I mean, that's a topic I would love to dive in on with you if you don't mind, because I think,
of course,
I think a lot of times, like in jiu-jitsu and other sports too, people hear the concept of, oh, you need to have a good mindset, you have to be mentally tough, and people, I think when they hear like, okay, you need to be physically conditioned but also mentally conditioned, they picture what to do for the physical side. It's like, okay, yeah, I need to go to a gym, I need to lift weights, I need to run, but what do I do for the mental side? In your opinion, like what are some of the best practices and exercises to build a strong mindset and build mental fortitude for jiu-jitsu?
I'm going to try to resume that. So basically what I feel like when you're competing there, you need to have this tunnel vision, that you have no doubts in your mind at all. You had made all the hard training for the past 3-4 months. You made the best you could. You made the best with your conditioning. You can't step on the mat and have doubts. This thoughts can even pass in your mind. Like, that's what I feel. That was with me, so this was the first thing. If you're doubting, then you're wasting your time thinking about something else. And the only thing you need to think there is like, how am I going to beat that motherfucker? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it. Like, you need to be 100% focused in what he's doing and what you're going to do. When is going to be your opportunity? What he's doing with that grip right there. He's not going to get my gear right there, Like, even like when you're like your posture, how are you going to enter the fight? How are you going to look to the face of your opponent? Like, all these things change a lot. I won a lot of fights just with my look, to be honest. I looked to the guy's eyes, I turned the face, I was like, okay, this one, it's mine already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think this is an important thing too, your posture, everything. Of course, there's a lot of really humble guys that they look like they never do jiu-jitsu and they go kick everybody's asses too. So that works as well too. They don't need to have the mean face or anything. I never really have a mean face. I have a focused face. It's different, Another thing that I think is like, it's how to control your emotions. It's another very, very important thing. You need to separate completely your emotional side from the fighting scene. That's what I think 100%. You need to be an iceberg, super cold, no emotions, laser focus, tunnel vision. That's it. Nothing's going to bother you. Like, people are shooting outside there. It's a bizarre example, but it's having like a mass shooting, whatever. You're focused. You need to be focused. You cannot be distracted. You know what I mean? And also, I feel like a lot of people creates too much expectations. That's another bad thing too. Just go, do your train, believe in yourself, do your best. Do one more rep, do one more minute, do always a little bit more. Break your records every day. In a smart way, of course. And then nothing can distract you. Nothing. Not even your family, your girlfriend, your friends, your professor. It's your moment there. You need to be cold blood and, fight for yourself, for your dream, No expectations, not trying to fulfill other people's dream or anything. It's your moment. That's what I always say, for my clients, because sometimes they have so much expectations. Oh man, you're so good. The friends, you need to win this year. You're like, man, you can ignore all that. Like, they don't know what you're going through. Like, it's easy to have fans and also don't have them as soon as you work, as soon as you lose. You know what I mean? So do for yourself. This is a very important thing. It's also very nice to score points for a team, yes, but this is like a consequence of your winning, So, and for you to be able to do that, then you need to, be completely like center in yourself and know what you're doing right there and why you're there, and and don't commit mistakes. Black belt especially, you cannot commit mistakes that can cost you the world title.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I love what you're talking about here, because I think that this is something that people all across the board are going to experience if they compete, and that's managing thought patterns. And something that we deal with, a lot of us deal with just in our day-to-day lives is, we could all have better mindsets in general and better thought patterns, and when you see how important that can become, like you said, in a competition environment where you really do need to be focused and you need to be confident, you need to believe in your jiu-jitsu. You can't allow negative thoughts to start passing through. true. For people that have trouble managing their thought patterns, what have you found to be some of the most important things to get them to not necessarily stop the negative thoughts, because it's impossible to stop thoughts from happening, but to kind of let them pass by? Like what's been some of the best things that you've recommended people to do to avoid having negative thoughts get in the way?
One book that I read, it's from the trainer of Ayrton Senna. Ayrton Senna was the best, most successful Formula One driver all the time. He was amazing. And his mental coach explained one thing that's very nice. He used to say, like, we have two brains. One that we can control, and then we have the other brain that is the subconscious. Is the one that's coming, message. It's easy to get in the negative part. So he said that the other brain, that is the subconscious one, you can start to manipulate it. For one example he gives in the book, like if you wake up, you open the windows of your bedroom, and then it's raining and it's super gloomy, like not a beautiful day. And you're like, damn, what a terrible day. At that moment, you already start to produce a lot of bad hormones for yourself. So you start your day already in a bad position, so you're not going to reach your 100% potential for the things that you need to do. And then what he says is, like, you can fake it. So you're going to get like the most positive of that horrible day. Something, it's been good. Oh, we have water for the world. We have water for the plants. That's gonna, clean the pollution or things like that. You know what I mean? You need to see on that thing that you don't like some positive coming out from that. So that's how you can trick your brain. And based on tricking your brain, then you can start to produce good hormones and put yourself in a good state of mind. So this is one important thing. So when did you ask me, like, how can I prevent the negative thoughts, or how can I go around it, right? So first, acknowledge that, why I'm being negative, why I'm not trusting myself. And then you go and focus right away on the positive things. Like, no, this is not right. I don't want this. I trained so much. I trained so hard. My jiu-jitsu is great. I can beat all these guys in the gym. They beat all these other guys, even if they don't do that. Like, what I think is very important for you, believe in yourself more than anyone. That needs to be also the mindset. You need to think you're so powerful, you're so strong. No one can beat you. Doesn't matter if the guy has 8 world titles. There's a way to beat him. There is a way. You need to find that way. That you're open and believe in your game. Believe in yourself. That's like 80%, 70% is mindset. You believe in yourself. But don't just believe in yourself and don't do the hard work. You know what I mean? You need to go there. You need to train. You need to kick ass. You need to have your ass kicked. You need to do your conditioning. You need to eat well. You need to sleep well. You need to have the focus. So there's a lot of things. It's a very deep, conversation. I'm cool. Go that deep as you want to.
I really like specifically the aspect you're talking about of reprogramming your thoughts and being mindful of the fact that, hey, you know what, I'm actively working on my thought process. I'm actively working on my thought patterns, and I'm going to be sure to remind myself in the moment that when I start to have a negative thought, I'm going to fake it. And it's funny that you said that, because I was just reading a thing the other day about serotonin and cortisol, and how people absolutely can fake and pretend that they're in a good mood and smile. Even the act of smiling when you're in a shitty mood. Yeah, like you can be in a shitty mood, and if you're smiling, it's sending signals to your brain that actually do help. So this is really interesting, 100%. Man. This is really interesting.
For an example, right? In 2015 was the last Worlds that I stepped on the podium, right? And look at this. So 2010 I won. 2011 I broke my ACL. Took me 2 years to get better with my knee, but I was in this doubt, like, oh, fuck, this is painful. I'm not gonna recover it. Took me 2 years to do that. When I recovered my knee, I was feeling great. I was like, okay, now it's good. Brazilian national, let's go. I was doing amazing. I was in the open class already. And then, boom, broke the other knee right away. First fight. And then ACL was terrible. Like, I heard everything's like breaking, ligaments breaking, At the moment that I was like, after my pain, I was like, okay, what's your choice? You're gonna stop? You're gonna quit forever, or you're gonna just suck it up and do what you need to do? You know, like what you need to do. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do what I need to do. It's gonna take 5 months, 6 months most. Man, I got recovered in 4 months and a half. I went to the gym, so I was doing like just the strengthening, the physiotherapy, and Pilates. That was my schedule. That's it. I went back to the jiu-jitsu gym. I had like, how much was that? Like 1 month to get ready for Worlds. And then I came back training. First week, I said, Fabio, just put me with some purple belts. And then he put me some purple and brown. And I already did good because I trusted in myself. I was like, I'm going to recover. I'm going to be ready. I'm going to fight Worlds and I'm going to win. That was my mindset. Since I had the surgery next day in the hospital bed, that was my mindset. I'm going to recover. I'm going to fight. I have time. And then first day, okay, train, but still good. Second day training, I already started to submit everybody. Not everybody, but like, the purples and brown belts.
Sure.
And then next week, I was like, okay, let me test myself with some like black belts, not the world champs from the gym, but let me test with the good ones, Man, super tight fights. And then by the end of that week, I was already doing like really good like matches with the guys that was on the top and their peak in the scene, Wow. And I was like, okay, that's a good sign. Yeah. Because I had a good mindset. And people was like, some people at the gym, not trying to blame anybody, but they are like, man, you're coming to train just 3 times a week. How do you think you're going to be a world champion? I was like, I know, I believe in my jiu-jitsu. I know all these years what I did and what I'm capable of. Yeah, but you're wasting too much time in conditioning. I was like, that's what I need to do. That's what I'm going to do. I want to feel my legs strong, to feel confident. But what about the jiu-jitsu? I said, this is all I can handle. 3 times a week jiu-jitsu, 6 times a week conditioning. That's going to be. And then I did Pilates and like regular weightlifting by the gym. That's it. That was my conditioning. And then I got in the finals against Leandro Lo. And I beat guys that I never beat before in Worlds or any tournament. And then I could beat them that day, believe it or not, with like 1 month training after an ACL knee surgery.